Alright guys, so here we are. Acuity Shifter has been acquired. Finally pulled the trigger on this, and why did I go with this one versus the other brands that are out there? Well, it's simple. You know, I asked you guys which shifter should I get, and pretty much 90% of you recommended this one, probably because you guys have actual experience with it. Now, I'm not going to beat a dead horse on this. If you own an FK8, you probably already know about this shifter, but this is my first time seeing this. I'm telling you, I am absolutely impressed. I thought this was just going to be some cheap metal that's bendable, but this thing is freaking solid. Now, on the traditional market, you have those traditional short shifter adapters, but I wouldn't classify this as a traditional short shifter, but more as a fully customized shifter. Now, if you look at this closely, there are 4 levels of adjustment. One, you can adjust your throws. Pretty much everyone out there, besides, you know, me and a few other people, don't really like super short shifts, but you can adjust the level of shifts to your liking. So I'm looking at their website, they're talking about a 15 to 40% reduction in throw. But I think one of the biggest selling points for me on this shifter was the adjustability of your actual gate spacing. Now, of course, why do you want to adjust your gate spacing? Well, you know, if you want to adjust your throws, now you can also adjust your gate spacing to actually match your throws, which is awesome. Also, you can adjust the angle of the shifter. Now you can move it over this way or you can move it over that way, but also you have this part right here where you can actually adjust the height of your actual shift knob. Now for you track guys, you probably want something that's a little closer to the steering wheel. Now if you're a drag racer, or you know, it's just personal preference. Some people like a really low shifter. I like something that's a little higher, closer to the actual steering wheel myself. Just personal preference, not saying you're right or wrong. You have these solid base bushings, and also the cool part about this, they actually have the actual size of the tool that you're gonna need, and also the torque ranges, which is actually freaking cool. You have this, I heard this was actually pretty stiff, this centering spring right here. And also, big shout out to Torque Toolbox for providing an awesome video on this, and also Powin for also providing a dope install video. So I'm probably gonna be referencing that video to install it, because I have no idea how to install this. It's probably gonna take me a few hours, to be honest with you. But that's pretty much just a general rundown of the Acuity Shifter. I don't wanna beat it to death because it's been covered so many times, but I'm absolutely amazing. Now, I know there are other options where you can just get a centering spring. There are different stages, but instead of going through all that, why not just go, you know, full 100%, you know, while I'm at it, instead of having to go through all that process. You know, in the long run, I suggest just getting a full shifter assembly from what I'm hearing or from what you guys tell me. So with that said, I'm gonna go get this installed. I'm gonna drive it around for a few weeks. Now keep in mind, I already have the actual cable bushings installed. I did that when I was installing my intake, and I'm gonna drive this around for a few weeks, and I'll let you know exactly what I think, because you guys have heard what everyone else thinks. They love it, but am I going to love it? I will report back to you in a few weeks once I get this installed. I'm not gonna do a full install video. You know, Powin did an excellent install video on this. So without further ado, let's get this installed in the Type R. Just wanted to get the two shifters here together and just compare the two, since I haven't seen these two side by side yet. And as you can see, this is just plastic fantastic, injection molded plastic, whatever you want to call it. And this one obviously is full metal. Now the overall construction at the top, as you can see, it's going to have a beefier spring. That's the centering spring up top, and really not much else. Also, the bushings also are going to be stiffer. So as you can see here, there are bushings, plastic bushings at the bottom of the OEM shifter. So that's pretty cool. A nice robust piece though, I must say though. Yeah. But with that said, I'm just contemplating now, should I put all of the console pieces back, or should I leave the center console partially installed so I can leave this exposed so I can go ahead and adjust it to my liking as I put more miles on it. Kind of contemplating on leaving the side panels off, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about later on. Okay, so I'm gonna say this right now. You guys were right. This thing is definitely worth the money. So going through the gears back and forth as I'm dry shifting it, everything feels super mechanical, kind of like a gated shifter in a way. Oh, I still have to put that little pin back in. Don't let me forget that. But yeah, I had to move the Subaru earlier just to get this car out of the garage for me to go on a drive. And wow, this shifter really makes that shifter, which actually has a pretty decent shifter from the factory, make it feel like poop. So this is definitely worth the $450, $500 that it costs. I got this from Matt Performance. Now keep in mind, this is not sponsored. I know you guys are going to say, oh, your parts are sponsored. No, it's not. I paid full price for this, no discount codes or nothing, because I was just in a hurry to get it because, you know, you guys recommended it to me, so, and I wanted to see what all the hype was about. But I'm really glad that I got it because, you know, for me it's not about super duper short shifts. It's more about shifter accuracy and shifter feel, which this thing does provide. Now with that said, I am in the middle of trying to fine tune. I don't know if I'm gonna be happy with these settings. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna drive this around and I'll just do all that stuff later. But with that said, I'll go over my adjustment settings later on, and we'll just see how much I deviate from my initial settings. Pretty much everything is pretty much right in the middle, so nothing is super duper short or super long. So there you go. As you can see, I have the console only partially assembled right now. It actually looks pretty cool with everything exposed, to be honest with you. But the reason why I did that, I just wanted to have full access to the adjustability settings of the shifter so I can fine tune the shifter settings to my likings. Now, as far as adjustability, I don't know if there was a certain order you had to do the adjustments, but this is just the way I did it. What I did, I adjusted the gate spacing first, only because of that little clip for the gate spacing what do you call it, cable. It's kind of a little pain to get out. So I adjusted that first, tightened it up. Then I adjusted the throw. Then I adjusted the position. You can set it to, I don't know, closer to the driver or away from the driver, whichever one you like. Then I adjusted the height. And right now I'm telling you, I'm probably only gonna do micro adjustments, but I'm gonna drive it around for about, I don't know, a couple more weeks. And then we'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so here we are, just gonna review the Acuity Shifter. Now, I know this has been beat to death on the internet for this platform so many times, but I just wanna give you guys my take on the Acuity Shifter. Now, with that said, I've had this on the car for about a month now, and if you haven't seen my last video, I actually had this shifter installed when I took the Type R to its first track day, and I will say no issues with this shifter whatsoever at the track. Now, as far as the settings, now, I'll tell you my settings. I think I remember them off the top of my head. Let's see here. I have the height about 3/4 of the way up. I like the height of the shifter just a little bit closer to the steering wheel. That's just my preference. Your preference may be a little bit different than mine. Now, when you have your shift knob adjustment a little bit higher, that's going to make your throws a little bit longer. Now, I don't like super duper short throws. I like them just right. I like to row through the gears. Now, you might like super short shifts. I don't. This is just a little bit shorter than stock. Now, to compensate for the longer throws due to the height, I did adjust the throws those were about at the second to the last setting as far as the throws. Gate spacing, I kept that in the middle, and so far I am happy with this with these settings. No issues when shifting through gears at the track. No issues with misshifts or money shifting at all whatsoever. These centering springs are so stiff, I can't talk right now, that you'd have to really try hard to money shift this. So if you're going from second to third, I mean, you're gonna have to really try hard to go to first. You're gonna have to, I don't know, you just have to, or maybe you're just a noob, I don't know, but it's really hard. So you're going from second, you just got it up in the third, and it's gonna go. So also, with that said, now you guys were also right when you guys said this is going to be stiff when I first installed it. It was a little bit stiff, I will not lie, but after driving it for about a month now, I don't think it's stiff. Now, the only time that I think it's stiff is when going from, when I first installed it, was going from third to second or from fifth to fourth. But other than that, over time, it's gotten, you know, a little bit smoother, and I say a little bit looser. But you're not really going to notice that because it's going to gradually get looser over time as you are driving it. Now, one of the things that I like about this thing, when you're in gear, there is very little play, and this thing is not going to move around, and when you are accelerating, you know, doing hard acceleration runs, so that is awesome. Now, this shifter so far is I'll be honest, it makes my other shifters in my other cars just feel like utter crap. I mean, it's just, the shifts are very direct. It almost feels like a gated shifter in a way. I know it's a cliche thing to say, but it's actually true. So also, one of the things that I recommend is to get a weighted shift knob. Now, since this is just a little bit stiffer, you know, the actual weight of a weighted shift knob is going to help you row through the gears just a little bit easier. Now, trying the weighted shift knob with the stock shift knob, which weighs almost nothing, it feels a lot better with a weighted shift knob. Now, with that said, would I recommend this to you guys? 100%. It is a must-buy along with the shifter bushings that are in the engine bay. Now, I haven't tried the other shifters that are out in the market right now. I would like to try it out, especially the CAE shifter. That is a little bit over my price range when it comes to shifters. I'm looking for wheels right now, to be honest with you. But 100% would recommend this to any of you guys. Surprise, right? But with that said, if you guys have any questions about the shifter, oh, by the way, I got this on Map Performance. It got to me in like 2 days, super duper fast. Big shout out to you guys over there at Map Performance. But with that said, if you guys have any questions, please write them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. If you guys want to know how much or what the adjustment settings are or the adjustment ranges, it's on the Acuity's website. This thing is fully adjustable, so I'm pretty sure there's so many different, you know, ranges of adjustment that it's going to fit your needs regardless. So with that said, I appreciate you guys' support, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, guys.